I confided in him that walking down the aisle again would mean forfeiting everything I'd fought so hard to maintain. My financial lifeline, my health care, and the shaky sense of stability I'd held onto so tightly. Yet here I am, having lost him, along with the alimony and medical coverage I once depended on. My name is Cassandra, and at 44, I bear the scars of a 21-year marriage that defined who I am at my core. My ex-husband, Vincent, was consumed by his demanding career in the medical field, building a fortune I could never hope to match on my own. But that wealth came at a heavy price. He was rarely home, always immersed in his work, leaving me to raise our 4 children alone in a house filled with luxuries but devoid of warmth. We weren't partners. We were more like strangers coexisting under the same roof. When our marriage finally crumbled, I thought I'd made the smartest decision of my life. I secured lifelong alimony and kept his health insurance, believing I'd locked in financial security. But no one warns you that financial safety can feel hollow when it costs you your emotional peace. Our marriage resembled a business deal more than a loving bond. Vincent's obsession with his career left me to handle everything: raising the kids, managing the household, and maintaining appearances, while I set aside my own dreams to support his achievements. The divorce wasn't just about ending a relationship. It was about reclaiming my identity. I fought fiercely to ensure the alimony and insurance would protect me and my children. It wasn't about love. It was about survival. Years after the divorce, I met Kyle through mutual friends. He was everything Vincent wasn't: attentive, present, and genuinely caring. His career in social services stood in stark contrast to the high-pressure, high-reward world of healthcare. There was a sincerity to Kyle that captivated me. He truly listened when I spoke, unlike Vincent, who had dismissed me for years. With Kyle, I experienced moments of happiness I hadn't realized I'd been craving. His ability to balance work and life felt foreign after decades with someone who put his job above everything else. For the first time in years, I allowed myself to believe that joy might be within my grasp. But then came his marriage proposal. Kyle wanted to solidify our bond, and I froze. I'd been down the marriage road before, and I wasn't ready to risk the security I'd fought so hard to gain. When I explained that I couldn't marry him, he was shocked, unable to understand my perspective. I laid it out plainly. Remarriage would mean losing my alimony, my health coverage, and the stability I'd battled to preserve. To Kyle, it seemed like I was choosing money over our love. He couldn't comprehend that my decision wasn't about my feelings for him. It was about ensuring I could provide for my children and keep our lives stable. He gave me an ultimatum: marry him or we were through. I repeated that my choice was about protecting my family's future, not about him. But he wouldn't listen. And just like that, he walked away. The breakup was sudden and agonizing, but I believed I'd made the right choice. I couldn't jeopardize my children's stability for the promise of romance. I thought that was the worst of it until Vincent called. He announced he was getting remarried to a young nurse from his workplace, and casually mentioned that my alimony and health benefits would end the moment he did. My world collapsed. After 21 years of marriage for children, and sacrificing my own career for his, Vincent was moving forward, and the safety net I'd relied on was disappearing. The court agreement was clear. If either of us remarried, the support would stop. Suddenly, I was left scrambling to figure out how to survive without the foundation I'd built my life on. I'd made careful, calculated decisions to secure my future, to hold on to the alimony that kept me and my kids afloat. But now, it felt like the universe was laughing at me. If I'd taken the chance with Kyle, maybe things could have turned out differently. Perhaps I could have found a way to balance love and security. Instead, I was left with neither. Vincent had found someone who embraced his work-driven lifestyle, and Kyle had moved on to someone unencumbered by my burdens. It's easy to wonder if I made a mistake. Maybe I should have chosen love over financial caution. But in reality, I was only trying to protect my children. Now I'm working full-time just to get by. Health insurance costs more than my old car payments, and with my eldest looking at college, I'm at a loss for how to pay for tuition. If I'd stayed with Vincent, I'd still have the alimony, the insurance, and I wouldn't be drowning in debt. It feels like I sacrificed everything for the hope of a better future, only to end up in a worse place than before. I can't help but question whether I made the right choice. Maybe letting Kyle go was the correct decision. Perhaps expecting both love and stability was too much to hope for. But I don't regret putting my children's future first. That's what I fought for. Yes, I lost Kyle, and yes, the alimony and health benefits are gone. But I stand by my decisions. I might be struggling, but I know I did what I had to do. Sometimes practicality backfires, but I'd rather be cautious than repeat the mistakes of my past. I only wish I'd anticipated how quickly the consequences would come crashing down. In the end, I made the choices I had to make. If that paints me as the villain in someone else's story, so be it. At least I fought for my family's future. And if that's not enough, then that's a weight I'll have to carry.